He never expected the past to slap him in the face inside a crowded hospital lobby, but that's exactly what happened. And if you're watching this right now, make sure you like this video and subscribe because what you're about to hear is one of the most emotional reunions you'll ever experience. Michael stood frozen, his hands trembling around the file of medical papers he just collected. He had come to the hospital hoping for answers about his little daughter's worsening cough, stress already carving deep lines on his face. But none of that compared to the shock flooding him now. Because standing across the hallway, just a few feet away, was the woman he once thought he'd spend the rest of his life with, Sarah. The woman who vanished from his world 8 years ago without a goodbye, without an explanation, without even a final look. She looked up from the nurse's station, and for a moment, her smile faded as her eyes locked with his. She froze too, as if time itself paused to punish them with all the memories they had buried. Michael's heartbeat thundered in his ears. He wanted to step back, to run, to shield his heart, but the footsteps running toward him forced him back to reality. "Daddy!" His 6-year-old daughter Lily threw herself at his legs. Michael scooped her up automatically, his eyes never leaving Sarah's face. Her expression softened, then completely shattered, as she looked at the little girl in his arms. Lily, with her big brown eyes and familiar smile. Sarah whispered something he couldn't hear, her hand trembling as she lifted it to her mouth. After all these years, after all the unanswered questions, fate had thrown them together at the worst possible moment. The air around them tingled with memories. Late-night drives, whispered dreams, tears, laughter. The promises they made when they were too young to understand what life could do to love. Sarah took a slow step forward. "Michael, is that your daughter?" He nodded stiffly. "Yes, this is Lily." Sarah swallowed hard, guilt swimming in her eyes. "She's beautiful." Michael didn't want to have this conversation. Not here. Not now. Not after all the pain. But Lily tugged his shirt, whispering, "Daddy, why is that lady crying?" He didn't have an answer. The doctor called Sarah's name, pulling her attention away. She took a breath, forcing herself to remain composed. I'll see you later, Michael," she whispered before she disappeared behind a hospital door. But Michael stood there long after she was gone, his mind trapped in memories he had tried to bury for years. Sarah had been his everything. They were inseparable in college. 2 kids dreaming of building a life together. They planned a future in a small town, a home filled with love, a family. But when her family faced a sudden tragedy, Sarah had spiraled. She pulled away, drowning in grief she couldn't understand or share. And then she vanished. She changed her number, moved away without telling him, leaving him devastated. Michael tried searching for her, but every trail ran cold. Eventually, life pushed him forward. He met someone new, married, had a daughter, but fate was cruel. His wife passed away during childbirth, leaving him alone with an infant and a broken heart. Michael became a single dad overnight, learning everything from scratch: how to warm bottles at 2 a.m., how to braid tiny braids, how to remain strong when he felt anything but. Now Sarah was back, suddenly, painfully, and he had no idea why. Hours later, Michael returned to the hospital to collect test results for Lily. He turned a corner and nearly collided with Sarah. She looked pale, exhausted, and worried. Not for him, for someone else. Michael steadied her instinctively. "Are you okay?" Sarah shook her head, tears spilling over. "My mom," she whispered. "She's in critical condition. I thought I'd lose her today." Her pain was raw, real. Michael's anger softened a little. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. She looked up, her eyes red. "I know I don't deserve your sympathy. Not after what I did." Michael's jaw tightened. "Why did you leave, Sarah? Why didn't you say anything?" She exhaled shakily. "I was drowning, Michael. After my dad died, my mom fell apart. I became the only one taking care of her. She pushed everyone away, including you. I thought she needed me more than I needed happiness. I didn't know how to explain. I didn't know how to stay and how to leave at the same time. That didn't give you the right to disappear," Michael said, voice cracking with years of hurt. "I know," she whispered, "and I regret it every single day. The weight of her regret pressed between them. It didn't erase the past, but it finally gave words to the silence that haunted him for years. Then Lily peeked from behind Michael's leg. "Hi," she said softly to Sarah. Sarah knelt, tears still clinging to her lashes.
Sweetheart.
Michael saw something shift in Sarah's expression, a gentle mix of heartbreak and warmth. It caught him off guard in the following days. Sarah remained in the hospital by her mother's side. Michael visited often with Lily for her checkups, and each time, he and Sarah exchanged small conversations. Nothing dramatic, nothing romantic, just two people reconnecting piece by fragile piece. Lily grew fond of Sarah quickly. Children have a way of sensing kind souls. Sarah would read to her in the waiting room, braid her hair, make her laugh. Michael watched quietly, unsure whether his heart was healing or opening old wounds. But every time he looked at Sarah with Lily, something inside him softened. One night, Sarah found him sitting alone in the cafeteria after Lily's appointment. The fluorescent lights cast a soft glow over their table. "Michael," she said, sitting across from him, "I'm not asking you for anything. I know I can't undo the past, but I'm grateful you're letting me be near you, even like this." He studied her face for a long moment. She wasn't the same girl he once loved. She had lived through pain, sacrifices, and loss, just like him. They were older now, wiser, bruised but not broken. "People disappear," he said quietly, "but sometimes they come back for a reason." Her breath caught. "Maybe our reason," he added softly, "is to learn how to forgive." Tears slipped silently down her cheeks. "I would give anything," she whispered, "for a second chance to be in your life, even if it's just as a friend." Michael didn't answer right away. He reached across the table, his hand covering hers gently. For the first time in 8 years, he didn't feel anger. He felt peace. Weeks passed. Sarah's mother recovered slowly, and Sarah prepared to move back into town permanently to take care of her. Michael found himself visiting them with Lily, helping where he could. Little moments, little gestures, building into something bigger, something comforting, familiar, and new all at once. One evening, as they walked out of the hospital together for the last follow-up appointment, Sarah paused at her car. "Michael," she said softly, "I don't expect you to love me again. I just hope, one day, you won't regret letting me back into your world." He looked down at Lily holding Sarah's hand, giggling at something Sarah had said. He looked at Sarah, tired but glowing, humbled by life, braver than before. "I don't regret it," he said quietly. "Not anymore." Her breath hitched, and he added with a small smile, "Let's take things one step at a time. Together. A fresh start. A healed wound. A second chance life rarely gives twice." The message is simple. Sometimes life separates people to make them stronger, wiser, and ready for the love they weren't mature enough to handle the first time. And when paths cross again, maybe, just maybe, it's fate giving you the chance you once lost. If the story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more emotional, inspiring stories just like this one.